Hello, Facebook Live. How's it going?
Hello, everybody.
Let's see. Today, we have an interesting article because people always ask us here at the restaurant what fruits or what items are organic because we really pride ourselves in using lots and lots of organic items. However, we never want to misrepresent and say that everything's 100% organic because it's not. Is it 50% organic? Is it 60% organic? Is it 70? Is it 30? It varies from time to time based upon the year, based upon the season. But we do have a general rule of things that we 100% always buy that are organic 100% of the time. And there's certain things that may be organic here and there. So we're just going to go over that. We found a great article. I found a great article on popsugar.com. It's a website that I like to reference here and there. So Jamie, here's this article, the 5 fruits you should always buy organic. Want to read that article and we'll do some commentary on that?
Absolutely. If you have the resources to do so, buying organic is usually always the best option. But since those organic prices can add up, sometimes you have to pick and choose. Fortunately, we know which produce typically is the most contaminated, known as the dirty dozen, so you can be more selective when it comes to your fruits and vegetables and your budget.
Yep. So the Environmental Working Group, EWG, I believe it's them, puts out a list every year called the Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen has the worst things you could possibly buy, the worst things as far as contamination. Like celery has 67 known pesticides that can be contaminated with. Celery, I think, is always number one. Spinach is up there. So it talks about fruits and vegetables. Here we're going to talk about the fruits that are on this list.
Let's break it down in terms of fruit and the 5 things you should always go to organic at the market. The first one is apples.
Apples.
An apple a day could expose you to pesticides if you don't buy organic. Apples are almost always on the dirty dozen list, and you should always opt for organic whenever possible. Pro tip, don't buy the shiny apples either, because those obviously have pesticides.
Those are waxed.
They're waxed and they have chemicals on them.
So we stay true to that here at the restaurant. We never buy, very rarely do we ever buy a conventional apple. We really stick true to organic apples. The apples that are here at the restaurant, we eat personally. Our kids eat them, and I want to make sure everything here at the restaurant is our personal seal of approval. So I wouldn't buy things that I really wouldn't eat here at the restaurant. So apples, we eat apples. Our kids eat a ton of apples. We juice apples. I want to make sure the apples here are always safe to eat.
Yes. The second one is stone fruit. We love stone fruit season, but did you know that stone fruits make up a large chunk of the dirty dozen? Peaches, nectarines, cherries are among the most contaminated. So it's definitely worth it to shell out some extra change for a healthier product.
That's a tough one because organic, a lot of people are very price conscious. And when you look at an organic peach versus a conventional peach, I mean, we were looking at cases, I was just looking at a case of peaches 2-3 weeks ago, $90 compared to $29. That's that's 3 times as much. Mm-hmm. And so for a restaurant or for a consumer, that's a hard thing to swallow. So what I recommend is wait for stone fruit season, like right now here in the Hudson Valley. Go to a farm stand, go to a local farm and find out, get something that has less spray.
Greg Berger's saying we're upside down.
Oops, how'd we do that?
I don't know.
I don't even know how to fix that. Let's see. Let's see if we can fix that.
Maybe just have us straight up.
There we go. Is that fixed now, Greg? Should be fixed. All right, so I'm going to have to hold this.
He said LOL. Oh, somebody said LOL.
Okay. We're shooting with 2 different cameras right now because we're going to put one on our YouTube channel and one for Facebook Live.
Yes.
So go to a farm stand, go to a farmer's market, and actually have dialogue with a farmer about what they spray. A lot of farmers live on their land, and they're not stupid enough to spray all these harmful chemicals. Now, peaches, like my mom has a peach tree, she has a pear tree, she has an apple tree. My mom's peaches, you look at them and they look terrible. The cosmetics are terrible, and she, of course, sprays nothing on anything. And a lot of people don't want to see an ugly peach, or ugly fruit, which is unfortunate.
Now your backside weighs again.
Backside weighs again.
Just put it straight. Put it so it's tall.
But then it doesn't Then it doesn't fill the screen properly.
That's okay.
Is what happens.
That's better.
That's better. Okay, so
Yes. That's better.
just doesn't.
We're all over the place.
Okay, it's just harder for me to hold.
Okay. No.
All right, so
So the third thing is pears. Pears are part of our clean eating program, but you've got to make sure your produce is clean too. Get this sweet fruit from the organic section in the market. So pears.
and again, pears are on the pears are.
And they're expensive too.
So we stick true to that. Always, every pear we
Always
bring
pears.
in. There's a short time of the year where the crops overlap, where you cannot buy an organic pear. It's very hard to buy an organic pear, and that's the only time that. But then we look for an independent pear producer, a smaller farm, which our vendors are great. One of our vendors is really good because you can actually pick the farm that you actually want it from. So we can actually pick it as far as. A lot of vendors sell things that are called packer labels, which means the vendor goes to the market. They look for the cheapest pear, the cheapest pineapple, and they buy whatever brand. But now a lot of people are concerned with where their food comes from. They want to put the traceability factor. So one of our vendors, Baldor especially, you can go on that order from the specific farm that you want and see that the farm is family run and this and that, and it's not part of some big co-op or some bigger picture of a producer, which is really good. But pears, we stick to organic pears all the time. We've done that for years.
So, and then the next one, so number 4 is grapes.
Grapes.
Grapes make an excellent snack, but more often than not, they're contaminated with pesticides. Opt organic on these babies too.
Grapes are in there. Now we don't use grapes here at the restaurant.
No.
Very, very seldom. Sometimes we use it for a catering party. A catering party. So we don't really buy grapes. When we buy raisins, we buy organic raisins. We definitely make sure we buy organic raisins. We don't use many organic raisins these days, but when we do, they are always 100% organic, no added sulfites. Really nice product. The last one
is strawberries. We love strawberries as much as you do, but they're grown with more pesticides than other fruits and vegetables. Always get these organic and wash them.
The nice thing about strawberries is you can grow your own strawberries.
And there you go, Jenna. Strawberries, organic. Yeah. They're saying always organic.
Always organic. You can grow your own strawberries here in New York.
There's a window, a season.
Right. And organic strawberries in the peak season are not expensive. So, for example, if we bought a case of organic strawberries today, they'd be $29. If we bought conventional, it'd be like $25. So there's really no reason to even look at the price on strawberries in peak season. Mm-hmm. Sometimes strawberries will get like $60 a case for organic and $30 or $35 for conventional. Avoid the strawberries. The nice thing about a lot of these fruits and vegetables is in peak season, they're cheap. So they're really, really affordable. And a lot of these things that we listed here grow local,
yes.
Which is great. So you can actually have a conversation with the farmer. So go check out Environmental Working Group's Dirty Dozen. Type in Dirty Dozen for produce, and you will find the items to avoid. Here at the restaurant, like I said at the beginning, there's certain things we always buy 100% organic, like our rices. Our rices are always 100%. Our grains, our seeds, a lot of our nuts, all of our beans are always 100% organic. Our coconut milk is always organic. Our milk products like like milk, half and half, cream, all that. Our sugar is always 100% organic. Our flours, whether it's buckwheat flour, spelt flour, always 100% organic. The part where we sort of waver is when we look at the price of things. If we're looking at broccoli and it's $50 for organic and $20 for conventional, it's kind of really hard to bite that extra cost a lot of times. The great news is broccoli grows local, and we have a great source for local broccoli. You even get local Maine broccoli. One of our distributors has a great line of Maine broccoli, which is really, really cool. So it's semi-local. We don't have to ship it from California for a good portion of the summer. We can get something that is more sustainably grown on a local level. Tomatoes, we always like to buy, tomatoes, we don't really buy per se organic tomato, but we always buy a soil grown tomato, non-pesticided tomato. And a lot of tomatoes, like in the wintertime, they come from anywhere. Of course, they go back to that packer label. The vendors use whatever they can buy, whether it's from Mexico, whether it's from some Caribbean country, and they just throw it in a box and gas them and pack them and ship them. We use a company in the wintertime, or farm in the wintertime, called Lucky. And Lucky Tomatoes
Florida, right?
out of Florida. So they're all soil grown 100% of the year. they're all from her own farm. Her brother runs a farm. She works in New York, and she sells the tomatoes. 100% always their own tomato. They don't source tomatoes from anybody. You see all those big other tomato labels in the store. They're not. Those aren't farms people. Those are cooperatives where they'll buy and source from 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 different farms sometimes, and then take them to their main facility in Florida, sort through them, and then put their own label, like it's their own farm or it's their own product on there, when they're really just outsourcing from wherever they get a tomato that time of the year. So the dirty five, what are the dirty five again, Jamie,
So
for
we
fruits and
have-
for fruits?
Apples, stone fruit like peaches, nectarines, and cherries, pears, grapes, and strawberries.
And strawberries. Of course, it's important to buy organic all the time. But you know, like you said, a lot of people are on a budget and people do what they can. But that, if you want to make the most difference in what you're buying and reduce the amount of pesticides used, then I would stick to that top 5 list first, and then venture out from there. And there's certain things that they say that there's not much pesticides that go actually into them, like garlic or onions, because who wants to eat a garlic? Bugs don't want to eat garlic. We don't. A lot of people smell like garlic. A lot of people are avoiding garlic. Well, so are bugs. So certain things you really don't need as much. So for example, the russet baking potato, the Burbank potato, the potato that you make the French fries out of, those oval potatoes, those have a lot of funky chemicals on them. I mean, we met a farmer years ago in Colorado that they wouldn't eat their own potatoes because they spray neurological damaging chemicals on the crops. But as soon as you go to a Yukon potato or red potatoes, those round Bliss or Yukon potatoes, white or red, virtually zero goes on those potatoes. So it's one of the things where we even if they're not growing it organically, they're using far less pesticides and fertilizers on those potatoes than they are using on the other potatoes. So every time you eat a French fry, unfortunately, you have to use the russet Burbank, the Idaho potato, that oval potato, which has a different starch content than the round potatoes. You need that starch content to make a French fry. You really can't make a French fry out of a Yukon potato, and that's why sweet potato fries are soggy sometimes, because there's just different starch content. They try to do them, but they just absorb so much oil that it's actually a fattier product. So that's it.
Hello to some of our staff members who have joined, Alexa, and ex-staff members, Aaron, and I think Courtney was on here. Hi, Courtney, from Tennessee. And Jenna, thanks for the shout-outs there. That's really nice. And Jenna asked about soil. What soil should you plant with? I mean, I'm assuming you want to use an organic soil or a manure.
Well, I guess there's all different kinds of soil or manures or things that you can use. I mean, we do get some manure for here, some horse manure, but we make sure that it's at least 5 years old,
Right.
6 years old, even 7 years old. A lot of people are getting newer manure that they say is not really good for the soil. I mean, if
Maybe
you go,
we don't know as much. We don't know as much about that.
I don't know
Jenna,
much
so-
about that, but I do know that there you can buy a saline solution, a highly concentrated salt solution to plant when you plant your stone fruit trees, to actually put them in the roots, because there's loaded with minerals, and that's what you want. Rock powder, powdered rock, is also very beneficial for certain crops like trees. I don't know who sells those, but you can go online and get concentrated seawater. You actually order concentrated seawater for your crops.
Interesting.
And of course, there's different types of organic fertilizers. The best thing to do if you want a better soil or better fertilizers, go to a store that's independently owned.
Right.
Go to Manza's. I haven't been to Manza's for that specifically, but go to a place where you can talk to the owner and you can have a knowledge. They have knowledge of what's going on. Like when you go to a health food store, go to an independent as opposed to a Whole Foods.
Right.
You go to Whole Foods, you're not going to really find that many qualified people. In something like a Mother Earth or Nature's Pantry here locally in the Hudson Valley, you're going to find qualified people throughout the whole store, because that's their passion, and that's what they want to be doing, helping people eat better food or put better cosmetics on. I would avoid Walmart, Home Depot for all that kind of stuff. Do you know that Home Depot and Walmart, they don't even own the plants that are in stock there? They outsource to a different company that comes in, makes them look fresh every day, gets rid of the dead ones, and then from there they, so it's like they're almost like, I want to say, like on consignment almost.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's not, yeah. So nobody there's really going to know that much. So go to a good place that understands soil, fertilizers, because you can buy organic and more organic fertilizer. And of course, you can make your own compost. We did our own compost here for years. We had so much compost. We do compost at home, in fact. We have so much, because we're so busy now, that we have so much vegetable waste that a local farmer comes in and
feeds
feeds
it to his chickens.
chickens and his pigs. So that all goes to a good place.
Yes.
So thank you everybody for logging on. Hope to see you soon, and eat organic whenever you can. Now we're off for a where are we going? We're going on a bike ride.
Bike ride.
Bike ride 40 miles?
No.
No, not 40 miles.